Tonight, the death of 18-year-old high school cheerleader Anna Kepner has officially been ruled a homicide. Cause of death, mechanical asphyxia, in other words, a chokehold. Her body found crammed under her own cruise ship bed, and now new details are emerging. Disturbing family history, a hospitalized stepbrother after this cruise, explosive court filings, grandparents speaking out, and a blended family that appears to be in a complete free fall and collapse. What happened on board the Carnival Horizon, and who failed this young woman?
Welcome to the global phenomenon, Surviving the Survivor. Here's your host, Emmy Award-winning journalist, Joel Waldman.
What's up, SCS Nation? Welcome to Surviving the Survivor. This is the show that brings you the very best guests in all of true crime, a global phenomenon with guests from Namibia to Zimbabwe to the Kingdom of Lesotho to the Republic of Ireland to Newark, New Jersey, Australia, Cleveland, Ohio, and beyond. We are covering all the geography. On a serious note, authorities now say that this is a homicide, the death of Anna Kepner, and that she died from mechanical asphyxia inflicted by another person. This means that she was killed likely via some sort of chokehold, and the case now officially being investigated by the FBI since this happened out in open waters aboard this cruise ship. In the last 72 hours, a lot that we are learning about, including this 16-year-old stepbrother who is now a suspect, court filings detailing a violent, chaotic home, and this same teen who was hospitalized immediately after the cruise claims that he, at just 16 years old, was drinking on board, which is not all that uncommon aboard cruise ships. Allegations that he was actually obsessed with his 18-year-old stepsister, Anna, and once, according to a boyfriend, even climbed on top of her while she slept. The grandparents now speaking out publicly. Anna's father's disturbing past coming into focus, and confirmation that she died inside that cruise cabin, the same cabin where two teenage boys slept just feet away from her body. So that is all happening tonight. A lot of disturbing things to uncover. The most recent, and working backwards, the medical examiner, the ME here in Miami-Dade County, which is where this ship disembarked from, has ruled Anna's death a homicide. The cause of death, per the ME, and I quote here, mechanical asphyxia caused by an other person, otherwise known as murder. Law enforcement sources describe a quote-unquote bar hold, which more specifically was an arm choke across the neck. The injury date, the same day that she went missing aboard this cruise ship, which is November 6th, roughly 3 weeks ago from when this is being recorded on the evening of November 24th. Again, mechanical asphyxia by another person. The discovery of the body, Anna was basically discarded, stuffed under her bed, wrapped in a blanket, and then was covered with life vests, those bright orange life vests that you see on cruise ships. That was in an effort, investigators say, to further conceal her body. A cleaning crew were the ones who discovered that body the very next day. Imagine being a member of that cleaning crew. You go into a cabin, you're essentially cleaning rooms like in a hotel setting, and you get underneath this bed and you discover this 18-year-old no longer with us. Her 14-year-old biological brother reportedly slept just feet from her body. Her body, again, found beneath the bed, wrapped in a blanket and covered with life jackets. This apparently is concealment and not panic. This investigators typically describe as staging. So this is also no longer rumor. The stepbrother officially a suspect. The quote here from court documents, the 16-year-old is a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise. This was confirmed in a Brevard County hearing in Florida, confirmed by attorney statements, and then confirmed again in the Guardian newspaper, the AP, People magazine, and elsewhere. This 16-year-old stepbrother, now the primary focus of the FBI investigation. From court records and other reporting, immediately after disembarking, this same 16-year-old teenager was taken to a nearby hospital. His condition undisclosed, and attorneys suggesting that he may have consumed alcohol while on the ship in international waters. Whether he got some sort of alcohol poisoning, was having a panic attack, that is unclear. Some possibilities, though: injury from the attack, a potential panic attack, some sort of psychological break, intoxication or intoxication poisoning, potentially a self-harm risk, or was sent to the hospital simply for evidence collection from investigators. We just don't know, but those are the major possibilities as to why this 16-year-old, whose initials are TH, and that's all we know, why he was potentially brought to a hospital. If true, all of the things that we are hearing, it obviously shows that there was some sort of impaired judgment, some lowered inhibitions, definitely some kind of increased aggression, and potentially loss of impulse control. All of those things happen generally when someone is intoxicated. Now, obsession. This is a word that we are hearing tied to this case. Anna's ex-boyfriend, this was the other day. He was in a media scrum in Central Florida, outside the Orlando area, which is where Anna Kepner is from. And this ex-boyfriend tells reporters that that this stepbrother climbed on top of Anna while she was sleeping. This was one time via FaceTime. Now, a lot of teenagers and younger kids will speak to their friends via FaceTime until one or the other falls asleep. Fairly common among boyfriends and girlfriends in high school settings. Could be older people as well. But unlike the old days when there was no FaceTiming, people would just say goodnight. Now people will literally stay on FaceTime. And that's what this ex-boyfriend says. He was falling asleep with his girlfriend, Anna Kepner, on FaceTime when this stepbrother, who appeared to be infatuated, according to this ex-boyfriend, came and essentially tried to mount her while she was sleeping. He said that he was, quote unquote, attracted to her like crazy, and says, "I tried to tell her parents. They didn't want to believe me. Sometimes you should listen to the ex." But these accounts are coming from more than just the ex-boyfriend, including current family members of Anna Kepner. The Sun reported, the newspaper, the British newspaper, that this stepson, the step brother to Anna Kepner, that he once confided in someone very close to him that he, quote unquote, has demons inside of him. "I have demons inside me," is what he told a friend, and allegedly said he could not control himself. There's also been reports that he would carry around a large knife for, threat purposes, intimidation purposes. It is unclear whether or not at this juncture, whether or not he was using a knife to intimidate Anna Kepner aboard the ship. But what is clear is that he is the primary focus of this FBI investigation. Again, this was in open waters. The cruise ship was heading to some different Caribbean islands, and that is why the FBI is the lead investigative jurisdiction on this case. Well, tabloids, you've got to be careful with them. There's been other reported instances in the media of this obsessive behavior from the step brother, also intrusive behavior, including that climbing on top of her while she was asleep, at least on that one occasion. And then you've got to think about this concealment after death, that he tries to cover her with these life vests, and then, of course, the ensuing hospitalization by this stepbrother. According to court records, the teen, this 16-year-old, who is now this primary suspect, was living in a chaotic, dangerous home. The household being described in court filings as violent, unstable, safe. The mother accused of court violations and blocking access. The adult son reportedly fled after a violent altercation. So this is a blended family with older kids and younger kids. The filing says that the youngest child is at, quote, immediate risk of abuse, abandonment, or neglect. So the worry is not over, according to these court filings, that members of this family believe that the youngest child still is at risk because of the dynamics in this family. Apparently, the 16-year-old, after this hospital visit, was eventually released to a third party, not to either parent, but to a third party. The filing, of course, is a damning statement on the instability of this home environment for both Anna Kepner, who it is now too late for, but obviously the younger biological child, as well as the stepson, who is apparently being accused of this crime, or at least looked at in this crime. Now, just now, the grandparents spoke out. It was both emotional and frightening. The grandparents, these are Anna's grandparents, are openly blaming this 16-year-old stepbrother, saying, and I quote here, "We believe he harmed her. She was scared of him. He was always around her, always watching her." This is creepy. There are plenty of blended families in this country, in this world. Most times, nothing like this ever happens, but this should be a cautionary tale for anybody in a similar situation. And just in general, my own 2 cents. If you're going on a cruise or a family vacation, probably not a good idea to put a hormonal 16-year-old boy in the same room with another boy and a very young woman. Let's be honest, she's 18. She's still a kid, even though she is legally of age at 18 years old. If you're anywhere above 30 years old, you know how young 18 is, even though to them, 18 feels like an adult. And technically it is. You're still far from full brain development and cognitive understanding of what is happening around you at all times. That is still lacking in an 18-year-old. Now, the family is directly pointing, this is beyond the grandparents, pointing the finger at the stepbrother, saying that Anna was uncomfortable around him. And again, they confirmed that the stepbrother once bought a large knife on a prior family outing that he would use to intimidate the rest of the family, adding more context to the general and seeming obsession of this 16-year-old toward his 18-year-old stepsister. Then the case takes an even more disturbing twist and turn. In 2008, Anna's biological father is accused of sexual involvement with a then 15-year-old babysitter. That's back in 2008. So what is going on here? This is reportedly, again, Anna's biological father. He was the respondent in a sexual violence injunction. The case was eventually dismissed after a hearing, but the allegation itself is still documented all these years later. And this could help explain a couple of things. Number one, parental estrangement, lack of coordination within the family dynamic, this fragmented family response. Not everyone is pointing the finger. A lot of people are pointing the finger, but there's also infighting between the biological mother and the biological father and others. So the dynamic of this family, certainly a question mark here. Right now, primarily it is the grandparents and uncle who are speaking out publicly, as well as Anna's biological mother. She spoke to the New York Post, among other media outlets, and said, and I quote here, talking about Anna Kepner, her daughter, she was a really good child, always happy. She was just dumbfounded as to how this could happen. She lives, I believe, somewhere in the Midwest. And of course, this happened out at sea on a Carnival Horizon cruise ship. But Anna herself was living in Central Florida at the time of her death. She admits that she rarely saw Anna in recent years, which also adds another layer of questions about displacement and emotional vulnerability because your own biological mother is not with you. Families are difficult at times. Thanksgiving is here upon us. We all know how hard it is for some people to be around family at this time. I'll tell you, I was at the airport today to take Karm, who was headed up to New Jersey, and I could just see family after family getting tense and short-lipped with each other as they were getting ready to fly. The airport was an absolute zoo, and Thanksgiving can be a really tense time, but family dynamics in general can be really tense. So back to the timeline, how this all sort of played out with Anna Kepner. The night that she went missing and ultimately was killed in what authorities are now saying is a homicide, she leaves dinner early. She says she doesn't feel well. You've got to wonder, did she really not feel well? Or was there some sort of trepidation with this stepbrother? But nevertheless, she returns to the cabin shared with her 14-year-old brother and 16-year-old stepbrother. The boys, the two boys, the 14 and 16-year-old, return later. The younger brother leaves again to take pictures. The stepbrother stays behind. Now, the younger brother comes back to the cabin eventually, but Anna is not there. She is missing. He says, well, she must be out, on the cruise ship, maybe partying, maybe hanging out with some friends. So he just goes to bed. The problem is surveillance video shows that Anna had never left that cabin, that she had never exited. And sure enough, the next day, that cleaning crew comes in and finds Anna Kempner's cold body underneath her bed, something her biological brother did not know of. So he literally slept the entire night with his sister, literally beside her. And investigators say that the homicide, that asphyxia, happened inside of that cabin. So what are investigators, specifically the FBI, looking at right now? You don't need motive to prove a case in a criminal court, but they are looking at motive, particularly or specifically obsession, opportunity. These are, the famous hallmarks of a crime. In terms of opportunity, that he had time alone with Anna, the means, the chokehold here, behavior. He tried to conceal what was going on with those pillows and those life, the life vests, the life jackets, attempted staging with those life jackets. Then you've got the hospitalization afterward, this really tangled, messy family history, the court filings about violence and instability, the compromised supervision here, the underage drinking allegations aboard this cruise ship, which is something that Carnival would be responsible for ultimately, I think, in a court of law. And trust me, they will be targeted here by civil attorneys, I believe. And then this prior sexualized behavior, that ex-boyfriend of Anna Kepner talking about how one time he saw on FaceTime this 16-year-old stepbrother try to mount his 18-year-old stepsister, Anna Kepner, while she was falling asleep with her ex-boyfriend via FaceTime. And he saw this. He raised the red flags. He told family that this 16-year-old was obsessive about 18-year-old Anna Kepner. Apparently, they never took these red flags seriously. And the result now, the FBI and the medical examiner specifically here saying that her death is a homicide, and the FBI continues to investigate what is becoming a very, very disturbing case. We've got missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard out of the central coast of California, and then also the story about Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the 14-year-old little girl, technically discovered when she was 15 in the frunk of singer David's Tesla. And now, reportedly, LAPD is looking at David himself and possibly a second suspect. It is notable that the commanding officer of LAPD robbery homicide came out on November 24th saying that Celeste Rivas Hernandez's body was neither partially frozen nor decapitated. But one thing is for sure, it was a hideous crime like this crime involving 18-year-old Anna Kepner. As always, let us know what you think of the story, particularly these solo runs with myself. Let us know in the comments section. Please hit like. Please subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Let us know how we can do things better. Everyone have a really safe, happy Thanksgiving. We've got shows every day of the week, Monday through Friday over the Thanksgiving period. And Monday after Thanksgiving, we start gavel to gavel coverage of the Brian Walsh murder trial, who pled guilty to lesser charges in that case, but is still being tried in the murder of missing wife Anna Walsh. They've got 3 young children who were 2, 4, and 6 at the time of the crime in 2023. So they're still really young children. And now the very real prospect that they have no mother and their father could wind up in prison for a very long time, if not for the remainder of his natural life. Got to stop this violent crime going on in this country. Love you, America. Justice for these victims, and justice specifically in this case for Anna Kepner. All of you, please have a happy, safe Thanksgiving. See y'all. Love you, America.